Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's knowledge session on global trends and opportunities in franchising, hosted by Indian Small Business and Franchise Association (ISFA) in partnership with the Malaysian Franchise Association. In this session, we will explore the current global trends in franchising in Malaysia, market opportunities, strategies for success, and how small enterprises can transform into successful franchisees. As the voice of Indian small business and franchise sector, ISFA is dedicated to supporting entrepreneurs across the country and empowering them to succeed in the global market. This is a valuable opportunity to gain insights that can drive growth and inspire new strategies. We encourage you to engage, share, and connect with one another. Another's. Thank you for joining us. Now I am pleased to introduce today's guest speakers. I am honored to introduce Datuk Dr. Jalia Hassan, Chairman of Malaysia Franchise Association and CMD of Harta Maintenance. Dr. Hassan has led initiatives to advance franchising in Malaysia. His involvement in the industry extends to numerous leadership roles, including service as a past member of Franchise Advisory Board under the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Dr. Hassan's extensive contribution reflects his commitment to industry advancement, and his legacy continue to impact Malaysia business landscape, inspiring future leaders across sectors. Now, I would like to introduce our Additional Director General, Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, ma'am. Um, uh, uh, she is also the Managing Director of Franchise India Group and Fran Global. She in India, she is not need the introduction because she is a well-known franchise consultant in India and global as well. Now, we also joined by Mr. Gaurav Maria later, who is the chairman of Indian Small Business and Franchise Association. So I'll give his introduction now, but he is joining us after 10 minutes. He is a key figure in Indian franchising sector. Mr. Maria is the champion in small business growth by providing resources, training, and networking for aspiring franchisees. Through Fran Global India, he also promotes international collaboration, driving Indian franchises into on the global stage. His work in policy advocacy and business development has empowered countless small and medium enterprises nationwide. Now over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Akshat, and thank you so much, Dr. Redzel, for joining us today on this webinar. I'd like to also thank you, all our partners and audience that have joined in, and we are happy to welcome you, sir. And friends, as Akshat talked about, today our key points of discussion will include some of the most trending, I would say, global trends which are shaping the Malaysian franchise industry. We'll learn about the strategies for expanding your franchise internationally, and especially in the Malaysian market. We'll also talk about exploring high growth and emerging markets which are ripe for franchising when we talk about Malaysia, and also some tips to understand how the entire support system and franchise management works in Malaysian market. I'll also request, friends, all of you have joined, if you can also share a bit about yourself, your businesses that you run, and if you're already franchising in India or any other markets, we'll be happy to hear from you. And if you look at franchising, friends, franchising has been the most powerful wealth creation and entrepreneurial engine for more than 100 years now. And it is a very big catalyst for entrepreneurship, and in fact, the most democratic wealth creation tool. And as developed markets today are becoming saturated, franchisors, companies, bigger corporations are also looking to expand into emerging markets such as Southeast Asia, Latin America, Africa. These markets offer a very significant growth opportunity due to their growing middle class and also increased in terms of consumption, their purchasing power, and franchisors are adapting their products and services to cater to these local tastes and preferences. To give you a little overview globally, and then I'll request Dr. Hussain to come and speak. If you look at the global franchise industry, which is a very big industry and much bigger than GDP of many economies across the world, it is staggering $5 trillion in terms of valuation. And it is also one of the most dynamic, I would say, industry, which includes a lot of sectors which range from F&B to retail, hospitality, wellness. And globally, franchise industry contributes almost about 2.3 trillion per year to the global economy. Almost 40% of global sales come from franchise businesses. And consumption is something which is very, very strong, I would say, a catalyst when it comes to franchising. As your consumption cycles change or increase, I would say, franchising increases and plays a very dominant role in economy. So franchising and consumption are in fact very proportionate to each other. The second trend that we are seeing globally, and especially in developing markets like India also, I would say, and same I would say for Malaysia, there's a lot of formalization of consumption which is happening as consumers. We are becoming more aware of brands. What we used to consume maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years back, we are consuming more brands today, right? And the third trend, which I'm also seeing, there's a very big growth of service sector. So even if you look at global economy, larger share of the global economy comes from service businesses. And that's where franchising plays a very, very dominant role. If you look at most of the industries, these are service-centric industries. So I'll request friends, all of you, please share your profile also. Let us know about your companies, and we'll be happy to answer also any live questions that you have. And as we get started, Dr. Hussain, I'll request if you want to share a little overview about, Malaysian economy and franchising and how, industry is shaping and contributing to the overall Malaysian economy.
Great, fantastic. That was a very nice introductory. Dr. Ashraf and Sonia, very good. The time here is now 4:30, so we are in the evening compared to your afternoon.
Yes.
And this is actually a very good platform and a nice invitation for the Malaysian Franchise Association to associate with IFA, and we thank you for that. And of course, we had a couple of rounds of discussion, and Mr. Gaurav himself has been to Malaysia, has seen our last, the recent exhibition and expos that we have run. Now, going straight into what Malaysian Franchise, let me introduce myself first. I'm Dr. Razali Hassan. Basically, my background in business, I've been in business for the last 45 years. My background in business is in total facility management, that we do support services for buildings, hospital, factories, and many other areas in where they need A to Z solutions. Example, whether it is housekeeping, hygiene, cleaning, facility management, like integrated electrical, mechanical. So just give us a building and we'll turn it out and do the total of facility care for the owners. So that's my background, and we have a reasonably successful business over the last 45 years with total manpower strength of almost 10,000 people in the company. Obviously, we have key management team and support team. Other than that, how my interest into franchise came in was way back in 1991, where the government, the Malaysian government, was looking at enterprise and entrepreneurs and how to seek, like, especially the government's concern was, the growing concern was, of course, our population is very, very much small. Probably we are only about 2 or 3% of the total India. And we have a population of 32 million, of which is more of a cosmopolitan, and India is not as strange to us. When you look at me, I'm a fourth generation Malaysian. My great-grandfathers came from South India. So I've got a local Malaysian great-grandmother who was a Malaysian. So the relationship between Malaysia and India has never been alien to us. So we know much of it. Though that is such, but it's always, the barriers of cross borders and internationalization. But franchise normally will support and help in terms of business, looking at boundaries and how we go. So as we embark, I was introduced to support the industry. Basically, the government were looking at how to create entrepreneurs, because locally many of the, I'm sure you know where we come from, the local Malays constitute of about 65%. Then we have Chinese, then we have Indians of origin who have been in Malaysia. Now everyone has got their own set of skills, and they've got their own rules of what they are involved in. Basically, traditionally the local ethnic people, they depend so much on the government jobs and government services. As such, the government was looking at how to turn this into entrepreneurship and progress them into, encourage them into business. So one of the areas of how this could be enlightened was going into franchise, whereby a franchise is a system where you've already got a manual, you've got operation systems, you have processes that when a person that comes in, he finds it easier to go rather than starting it from A to Z and uncertainty of their approach. So with franchise, it gives you a leap and a process where they could immediately start off into a business with less risk. I mean, that is what the franchise fraternity look at, and how we have been encouraging people to look at. So my business was providing mobile services for homes, for buildings, for factories that need ad hoc services, right from either it's hygiene, cleaning, maintenance, or plumbing issues, or aircon services. So we created mobile units. That's how we created franchise. It has been a reasonably successful business where we could create jobs for potential entrepreneurs, and we upskill them. We also have people like from the technical schools and colleges that upon finishing school, giving them opportunity to embark onto services business. But then say whatever from the education background coming into hands-on job experience with something that the systems that we created through training modules and all that help them to come in to engage. So when we embark in the early stage, we help them to understand the business by coming in as apprenticeship into the entrepreneurship, allow them to work in with the team and also with the franchise team, build them. Upon them having confidence in what they are doing, then we allow them to move from the mothership to be individual entrepreneurs, and we support. Basically, we have allowed them with a little bit of financial support, which is not big, but that help them to ease by not really, they didn't have to put in big capital to buy equipment and all that. So, I mean, it's an ecosystem that we created which helped them to jumpstart, that allow them to have something in hand. And the important part here is how we give them the skills and how we give them the processes, rather than what we generally say as entrepreneurs, rather than giving a fish or giving the fishing rod, so that they can really go out there to move forward and grow their business. So these were some of the programs that we do. Of course, the initial stage was not that easy, because for people to understand franchise while at the early stage was we are just developing them. But it became a process where franchise was looked upon, and obviously generally when people look at franchise, first thing in their mindset would be, oh, franchise is all about food and F&B, and always it is McDonald's or Kentucky's, and this is what the mindset is all about. And we use that as the turning point to say that if McDonald's and Kentucky can be successful, which means the franchise system and the model is proven. So this is where we felt that turning point, helping entrepreneurs right from school leavers or even from the retirees who are leaving the government, encouraging people at large to go into businesses. So this was a good package that would allow that the process. Then came in MFA, Malaysian Franchise Association, being association, we are NGOs in the sense that a non-government organization that support members, including the bridge with the government and the industry. So that is how MFA, or Malaysian Franchise Association, was incorporated in 1994. So we are now coming to our 30th year. It was the members. I mean, basically, the asset of the association is the members. And members are the key point and front people, where we have international members as well as we have domestic members. When I say international, basically all the big boys who are there, right from McDonald's, Starbucks, Kentucky, so you just name it, all the international. So we do have people from the F&B background, about 44% of them who are members in the association, whereas the rest are people like from the lifestyle, education, same, almost similar to what IFA has, including people from the sectors in terms of retail and also wellness. So these are some of the processes that MFA support. But the unique part of MFA, which I may maybe understand more from ISFA, that MFA is bounded by regulatory request, where we have a Franchise Act, which was formed by the government to make sure that the regulatory process and also the licensing process are very stringent. So it goes very hand to hand, even though it is a little bit challenging for a lot of people in the beginning, but with the process of the licensing and stringent condition on the do's and the don'ts in the Franchise Act that help to build franchises where franchisees are equally being taken care in terms of legislation and in terms of the rules and regulations set by the ministry. And the Ministry of Entrepreneur itself gets very much engaged. They realize that, as you mentioned, Sonia, that the GDP, the economical growth, the economical forward is the key vital substance here for the growth of the entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship for me, when I look at, though we call it a franchise, but this is a system that integrates with the ecosystem of, right from, even when you talk about those people who are in the food industry and they speak about from farm to fork, so that's an ecosystem where every part of the contributing factors are involved. So that's where then we had to educate. So education is one of the key vital area that being franchisor or franchisee need to make sure that the component in terms of training, in terms of providing substance disclosure, documentation processes that gives them the growth and the sustainability. And in terms of the economic growth in Malaysia, it has been a steady growth between 5 to 5.8% post-COVID, and that, of course, that chapter of COVID and the challenges that everybody the worldwide had, it's already put to rest, and now moving forward in terms of where we could go. But one good thing that happened during COVID was, initially we were transforming our members, if we could, from their normal processes to digitalize and go into technology, which was something that people take it for granted, and they were very slow, or the process was like taking a longer period than what was expected. But during COVID, that was a jump start. A lot of people jump into technologies, and people were willing to go into all these IT process, obviously into Deliveroo and all these tech-based companies, people who are more prone to it, and create an industry for that itself. But of course, there's a pro and cons here, because now when people could do orders online, then you find that a lot of your members have challenges in terms of locality, because lifestyle change. So you will find that some businesses, they don't really have to have many outlets. Some will have even like cloud kitchens, central kitchens, all those things. The mechanic, the dynamic of that also change. But then we shouldn't stop there. We have to look at, we were encouraging members to look at what could we do into other areas. So here, in terms of the Malaysian context, franchise as well, I wouldn't say that we are very successful domestically, but we managed to grow local content. For example, like we had McDonald's, we had Kentucky, for example. Then we also have other products that came in as lifestyle. But what we wanted to create was, while we receive with open hand on for those international brands coming, we also created homegrown products. So we have like 68 new products that was homegrown, which we encourage them to go international. This is where even more bigger component from the support from the government was essential. So we use all the government tools, all the embassies, all the trade counselors within the international connections that we had to create progress where we bring in our entrepreneurs international to produce or to introduce our products. So we call it the program as Enhanced Franchise Development Program, where we bring local entrepreneurs international. And obviously, we have done many shows. Of course, when it comes to franchise, it is not something like you discuss today, tomorrow it happens. No, because it is a process. By the time you have participating in either international expos, or we do business matching, we do business pitching, we take participant international. But to be a successful entrepreneur, it takes time. Number one, when you go cross border, understanding their legislative, understanding their cultures, understanding the local regime, whether tax, whether sales tax, whatever. So this was something that we truly appreciate the government that gave us that sort of backup, sort of grants and funds to support the local entrepreneurs. So this program will go on until 2025. Hopefully the government extends it again. But these were some of the benefits those we could give to our members as more viable for them to have a bit more peace in terms of support. So for instance, if we were to bring entrepreneurs, we have done in India twice, once in Delhi and once in Bangalore. And through this program, we also support them through grants. We also have our local, we call it the Malaysian International Trade Organization, which is part of the Ministry of International Trade in every country. So they supported us to do the studies, the statistic, cross-culture behavior. We also have, they also support us with translators, for instance, when we have people who go into another country where we have challenges in terms of documentation, or even to understand the law, the basic law of that country. So the processes. So this was really a very good approach that we do. But it doesn't stop. The challenges will never end as far as businesses are concerned, because we are guiding them. But these are some of the process that make it to a bit more mature in terms of approaches. So that was generally what we were doing. But other than that, obviously, we have our calendars where we have continuous programs, engagement with our members, engagement with cross-border. We do like annual, like every quarter we have programs. For example, we have ASEAN programs, we have East Asian programs, we have matching programs where we have Malaysian entrepreneurs. We try to match with, say for example, with entrepreneurs in Vietnam. We have a program, we call it the apa program ini yang kita online, international market updates. We have engagement. We call it international market updates for members. So that also help, so digitally that's also help. We do not really have real force of actual trade shows or what. We also have visual trade shows, and also a combination of webinars with all these different countries that we do according to sectors of, say for example, if it is F&B, we try to gather all the F&B members to do that show. So basically, that I think that's basically what as an association we were doing to support the members, because in terms of requirement for members, as when they are into a franchise or a franchising, there comes a lot of challenges. So as an association, what we could do is we do some mediation, and of course, regulatory is very clear and straightforward, and they can always mismatch. They can't run from the track that has already been laid. So that doesn't make much difficult for us. I mean, in terms of guiding. But what they would need continuously is improvements. So we provide training, advisory services. We also help them into legal mitigation. We also support them with counseling. So there's a lot of things that as an association, we support the members. So as an association, we ourselves, we have approximately about 20 personnel. We are, obviously, we have our executive council members where I sit as the chairman. The chairmanship goes, we have our AGM where we go annually, whereas the office bearers are there for 3 years. Within 3 years, we will have so people like the office bearers will be elected, whereas the team that runs the office is the secretariat team. That's where I have from about 20 personnel who support to run the organization. So they are very much involved into day-to-day coordination, communication, support, communicating with the relevant agencies and government department, even to support our members in terms of getting their IPs, trademark registration, whatever that is necessary for the industry. Those are the processes that we support through the association. So basically, that's hello.
Sorry for delay because I was traveling to some other destination and there was a major accident, so it got delayed. My apologies for that, and that's why I requested Sonia to come on the webinar to take the lead. It's an honor to meet you, sir. It's always an honor to meet you, and I have learned so much from you, and our contribution for the Malaysian franchisation is a tremendous work, and encouraging taking Malaysian companies to different parts of the world. I think it's a great effort you're doing.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, likewise, we also learn a lot from each other. I mean, you have also contributed during our last Franchise International. So you were one of the great speakers there, and many of them still ask if Gaurav will come again. So we look again, said that, this May 21st to 24th, we are going to have another huge show in Malaysia. You have witnessed how our shows work. We anticipate it to be double this time probably. And we are also hosting ASEAN Forum during this particular progress, because Malaysia is the chair for the ASEAN community beginning 2025. So I would like to have many Indian brands to come here to support how we could support. At the same time, we can matchmake for the Malaysian products. If any of your members or people in India are looking at bringing in Malaysia franchise to India, we are more than happy to support.
Absolutely, sir. We will, as I committed last time, we will immediately start reaching out to our member companies, and we have a large interest in Malaysia. I personally feel that the best market for Indian brands to enter first in Asia is Malaysia. It's so friendly. It has great infrastructure now. It's easy travel, and also you can access many markets from that market. So we're going to be doing a Will Pavilion. Our Indian Small Business and Franchise Association would also work with our other company, Franchise India, very strongly to put up a full pavilion. And in coming days, I will reach your office to maybe set up this whole opportunity, how we want to maximize. And that would be a big initiative by us.
Definitely, that would be fantastic, because we have already have, you wouldn't believe this, we have already have more than 50% taken up. The rates were so good that it has been done. So in fact, I reminded my CE and Mr. Heidi to make sure that look in India this time. We want you to come in the big way.
No, absolutely, absolutely, sir. And under your guidance, we will do that, and then subsequently also we will like to bring in Malaysian companies to one of our shows, and I'm already working with many of the Malaysian brands on a personal capacity, and in past also we had honor to work with largest of the groups, the Parjayas and likes of them, to take to them to different markets, and so we will collaborate more on that, and this is a beginning of many of these initiatives to build our bilateral trade between this. And I think franchising is a great way to do it, especially for Malaysian brands, because now it is among the top tourist destinations. A lot of Indians travel there, they see the brand, they visit those businesses and so on, so forth, and then they want to bring them back home in India.
Definitely. We are all there to support our members, as well as opportunity for the growth areas that we are looking at. Definitely, we as what we have looked and what we see now, the best even for India to come into Malaysia will be a brilliant idea. The reason is it gives you a springboard to go to all the next ASEAN countries. And as you see, that you yourself have seen the infrastructures which are good, business friendly, and the support is phenomenal because the relationship again, because Malaysia India has always been a far long-term relationship that we had, and it makes it easy. So we are all out to support any entrepreneurs that come in here. We'll take care of them as our members, or take care of them as our guests, in the sense that we will want to ensure that we can give them all the guide, so that they have a free support system when they are in here. And obviously, as Malaysian, we ourselves, for us, it is not. It's not that enticing for us to go to Europe or America. No, it's much nicer to be within ASEAN community, the East Asian, India, and also the Gulf countries and Africa. So, and among us, we can always exchange notes when we are going to all these other different areas that we could work together. So that makes it a brilliant combination.
Absolutely, sir. And also it will be great honor for us to bring you as a guest of honor to one of our shows. I will send you that details also through our association office. And so my apologies again for delay. I always see an opportunity to meet you and talk to you and learn from you. So thank you very much for joining in today. Sonia, your words, and then Akshat can say a vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hussain, for coming on this webinar today. And it's a great initiative that you have taken. As a seasoned entrepreneur, you have a wealth of knowledge to share and the entire community to learn from your experience. And we look forward to collaborating with you and working as a catalyst in franchising along with your association. Thank you so much.
Akshat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hassan. And thank you so much, Sonia ma'am and Gaurav sir, for joining us for today's session. Today's session is definitely a very informative session for the participant and the Indian brands or the Malaysian brands. Those are looking forward to expand their business in any of the market. And sir, for you in India, we are looking for the expansion in India. We are we are happy to serve them in all the way. We connect them with the all the possible local assistance. And if any of our brand is looking for the Malaysia, I definitely connect with you for the support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Talking to you, and we will reach out for putting up a Indian pavilion in a Malaysian show, and under your patronage of the association. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, it was really nice. It was a pleasant meeting Sonia, Ashraf, and Gaurav again. And I believe there's plenty of things that we could learn from each other. And I'm sure will create us a long-term visibility.
Look forward, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hussain.
It's our pleasure.
The honor is ours. Thank you.